Oh, so yeah, that happened. Um, this is a round one, well, round one, day one review of Dota TI9. Um, I guess we can start from the top if you want to. PSG versus LGD versus Pro. That was probably the worst game I've ever watched. I don't know why Virtus Pro went into that match. Just basically playing the meta. PSG, LGD, I'll just call them LGD for short, basically had a better understanding of what meta they were trying to play, and basically outplayed them in every single step. I don't know if Virtus Pro would actually make it out against RNG, because RNG is playing strong in their alliance game. We'll get to that one in just a second. Basically, I'm so devastated about the game. I can't even think of players' names right now. It's just awful. I hope to never see that type of game ever again in any history of TI. Next game up, VGTNC, which is the second game actually I did have to watch live, and enjoyed it very much. It was a tough game though, and that's what I really love about games that are close. Obviously, the crowd favorite VG Gaming managed to shine through in the third game, basically keeping it close all the way up until the end. TC ended up having to basically submit to the more ready and prepared VG Gaming team, and that's pretty much it for that. But I do see TNC actually giving Liquid a problem, and that's what I'm kind of worried about there, because I do have Liquid as my next pick, and you see this bracket is just terrible. I only got 2 picks out of the possible 6. Oh, actually, I think it's 5. Oh no, there's one more game that needs to be played. 2 more games need to be played. So, yeah, that was an interesting second match of the night. In this case, it'll be for the day in China, in Shanghai to be more specific. There is no OG newbie game yet until tonight. Actually, it's the first game that's coming up, probably up before this video even gets published. So enjoy watching that game. I do have OG to somehow get trumped by newbie. In the group stages, newbie did have a decent showing against really strong teams. I think they also took a game off of newbie on. I think they took a game off of OG. I did not expect them to actually do that. Last year they weren't as a strong team. Well, they still made it to main event, but still, it's like I did not expect them to be a really strong upper bracket team until I actually saw them perform in the group stage. Next up, Secret versus EG. Secret's favorite in this match. They're not playing until today, though, so I don't have any comments about that match in particular. But we're going into the lower bracket, the other matches that played this morning. Basically, Alliance RNG. What the hell is going on? Alliance managed to somehow, and this should not matter for the match, but they managed to somehow pick Gyrocopter instead of banning Gyrocopter. I'm glad I was not awake for that game, but I would have been extremely pissed if I did see that. It is a mistake. They surprisingly still did very well. Gyrocopter, I forgot who was in. Yeah, it's kind of screwed up their order too, because they had the Gyrocopter. You had JC Gyrocopter and Void. Gyrocopter is okay when Void does his Void Sphere, but it's like you have to take away far away from Void in order to build a team around Void. So have those issues, but Alliance still did a really decent job, but they tried to push their luck too early and ended up costing them the game. What ended up happening is they went for a throne very early, and RNG just came back and managed to take control of the game from there. In the Fnatic Liquid match, I did not foresee Fnatic giving Liquid any trouble. And of course they didn't. Don't have much to say about that game. Of course I missed it, only watched the highlights. Infamous KG, I have not seen any of KG's games. Had more faith in Infamous, and the commentators seem to share the same thought process on how well they perform in the group stages. I definitely seen them giving anyone that they face in the lower bracket trouble, and more than likely that would be newbie. I don't have belief in my bracket anymore because I picked way too many underdogs in the first round, so it would more likely be newbie versus Infamous in the second round. And then the Mineski Navi match. Though Navi was back, boys, what's going on here? Talking about a 30k lead in like the 60th minute of the match. Just could not pull. Actually, I think this was the match that. Yeah, sorry for earlier. Navi was going for the throne in their match, and Mineski ended up capitalizing on that. There's not much you can do from that situation, especially if you just basically cannot seem to pull out a win after you seem to have control of the game for so long. Navi definitely should have won that game, but Mineski made it into the second round, so it won't like they will be facing EG, and if they do face EG, then Mineski is going to win that round, and they'll definitely make it to the third round. So this is a brief summary. I can get into more details later. I'm sorry I don't have my notes in front of me. There's just so many games, and I have to prepare for language classes tomorrow. If you want to with language, just look at the name of my channel. So I'll keep doing these until the tournament's over, and then give my final review and a breakdown of what teams did and what teams should not have done. So thank you for listening.